I'd really hoped to face you guys today and talk about Wells, but I just don't think I could stand up here and face you all without breaking up. So I'm trying to get myself together here and just record this for you. I'm sitting near a spot where Wells used to view the ocean and drink his coffee and read in the mornings. I got a little Eagle stuff going in the background because that's his favorite band. You know, this does seem like a bad dream, and I'm hoping I just wake up and this all won't be real, but I do know that it is real. Probably the most painful thing to ever witness is to watch your best friend take his last breath and watch that monitor as his heart took its final beat. It's really painful for Linda, Bobby, and myself to witness, but I'm glad we were there because we watched him take his new journey without us. He appeared so peaceful as he slowly just quit breathing and just floated away. But I don't want to talk about the way he died. Let's talk about the way he lived. We had a lot of happy times together. Didn't really know Wells in high school, but he had a reputation as the most wittiest, and he was. He had everybody cracking up all the time in school. If I saw him in a distance, he always had something going on. But I did have an encounter with him for the first time at Lake Geneva. He was playing in a band there with some friends, and I really was mesmerized by his showmanship and his voice. I asked him, introduced myself and asked him could I sit in, so I brought my keyboard in and sit in, and it struck up a brand new friendship because we just love a lot of the same music. Doobie Brothers, Everly Brothers, especially the Eagles. And we both loved harmony. That's what made it really click, because we had a love for harmony. We used to have a three-piece that we just sit around and jam with Randy Weekly, Wells and myself. We'd sit for hours just singing harmony to Eagles and America, pretty much just anything that had harmony in it. We were talking about those not long ago, about some of those jams we used to do. We got our first band not long after we met and called it One Way Ticket. We practiced for months. We only did 2 gigs. One of those gigs, we were the last band to play at the Old Dutch on Panama City Beach. We kind of parted away. He moved to Montgomery and joined a really good band up there called Paradox. We kind of got back together about 94 when our mayor of Geneva, Hugh Herron, had approached us about putting something together to entertain for the River Rat parties. We played with them a lot. Matter of fact, it was Hugh Herron that helped us come up with the name Wells and the Witchdoctor. And it's always stuck. He was born Wells Roney Jerome Jr. He went by a whole lot of names. Little Wells, Wells Jr. His son called him Dad. He was known as Pappy by his granddaughter Allison. He loved his grandchildren, Zach and Allison and Stephen. They always adored him. My brother came up with the name Welvis because Wayne really liked to hear him do Elvis stuff. So he came up with the nickname Welvis, and that kind of stuck. So we did several shows in Panama City. We call it our tribute to Elvis, and we called him Welvis. Wells used to do a lot of things that annoy me. He'd get tangled up in the mic cords on the stage. Every time I turn around, he's tripping over something or knocking something over, and that was real frustrating. But he finally got his eyes operated on a few years back and was able to see better. I gave him some glasses that look like Harry Potter, so we sometimes call him Harry Potter. Linda called him Baby Love sometimes. Our friend Bobby called him Miles. And when him and I had arguments, I called him Asshole. But no matter if we ever got mad at each other, which was rarely, we remain the best friends and always will. I bought him an Elvis costume to encourage him to put on a little Elvis skit at the winery, and he did. Man, he had me just cracked up the whole time. Every time I saw the show many times, but every time I turned around, he would I'd be in tears laughing at him trying to play at the same time. But that sure was a lot of fun. I don't care if there was 3 people in an audience or 500 people. He always did the same show, and he was really energized by the audience, especially when they started to dance, and then he'd get out in the audience and dance with them and just really work the crowd. He had a gift for that. He'd frustrate me sometimes because I'd get on the microphone. I called him Parrot because a lot of times I'd announce something and he'd go right behind me and repeat it. So I thought that was kind of humorous. He used to aggravate me when he had this sound he'd make when he did a song or before a song, and especially through Jimmy Buffett type songs, it was andale, and he was doing that to energize the crowd. It first annoyed me, then later on the crowd started repeating the same thing he was doing, and I thought it became funny and kind of a signature thing by him. He moved down next door to me here in Panama City. Him and Linda lived next door for probably about 8 years, and he finally moved. We played on the beach for I think Barefoot on the Beach, Stingrays, Sharkies, the Jupin Winery. It's just several places I may have left out. We did several private parties. But when he moved to Dothan, he'd come down and stay with me. Of course, I'd get aggravated him and call him Chainsaw because sometimes he'd snore and wake us up at night. I'd get aggravated with him sometimes. We'll be watching TV and he'll get up and stand right between you and the TV where you couldn't see the TV. And many times we'd watch a movie and all of a sudden he'd hit pause and he'll start doing a narration and commentary on the movie and say, "Wells, just let us watch the movie." You know, Wells, he died doing what he loved. We were doing a gig in Panama City for a dance club. A lot of our friends that come to the winery, they hire us a few times to go play for that show. So we played there that Saturday. We was near the end of our first set. He had just sang "All Right Now" and "Can't Get Enough of Your Love," and he just called out a Glenn Frey song called "The One You Love" for one of our people there, Teresa, who really loved the song. He was always trying to please people by doing their songs that they liked. But anyway, he called out that last song. He was having shortness of breath, so he sat down. The next thing I know, he's on the floor, and that's kind of when I know he was gone. Then I do have a lot of fun memories of him. Some of them are not rated G, so I probably can't talk about a lot of stuff. So I'll just leave that unsaid and let you guys just remember some fun times that you had with him. He may be gone, but his spirit's still here. He used to joke to me about, "Man, if I die, I can't wait, because when I get there, I'll be able to sing 3-part harmony right by myself." And we just kind of laugh about that, but, I'm really hoping that's true now. I can envision him up in heaven. He's reminiscing or reuniting with his mom and dad and a lot of people that's left before him. I can see him right now. He's up there with probably singing with Glenn Frey, Roy Orbison, Buddy Holly, Glenn Frey, and even dancing with Elvis. And likely hooking up with our old friend Dean Daughtry of Atlanta Rhythm Section, who passed a few years ago. Well, he will be gone, but not forgotten. God, I'm going to miss him so much. So I'm going to close by like how I did at the Jupin Winery. Sometimes we close, and we did a Elvis show. I'll say, Welvis has left the building.